Your average American high school includes kids who are sad, kids who can't concentrate, and kids who are overly stressed. Is medication an answer to these problems? Some teens shared with us their experiences.
When were you first prescribed medication?
I was prescribed last spring.
I was first diagnosed with depression when I was 12. I got put on a lot of medication.
I was told that I had ADD when I was in the 3rd grade. My mom didn't really know what to do and took me to a doctor and put me on some sort of medicine. I don't know if it was like Ritalin or one of the like big early medicines for that kind of stuff, and it messed me up so bad.
Honestly, I can't remember a time in my life when I was not on prescription medication.
What medication are you currently on?
I am taking Zoloft, Concerta, Seroquel, and Solidyne.
I am currently on Methylene, which is an ADD drug.
Methylene is a generic version of Concerta.
Now I am on Seroquel and Sertraline.
It's just always scary reading through the lists and the doctor saying, by the way, it can cause all these side effects. Tell us if you see any of them.
Sometimes I feel like my doctor is just going down a list and saying, oh, okay, this one doesn't work, try this one, all right, we're gonna do this one for this amount of time, and blah, blah, blah. By the way, the side effects are, thoughts of suicide, more depression, like anxiety, insomnia, loss of appetite, gain of appetite. I mean, I could just go on and on. It's crazy.
How do you think medication has affected your life?
I think it's affected my life for the better. Since I started taking the ADHD medicine, my grades rocketed in school, and I've been able to not be as stressed about stuff like that.
I really did feel more focused, especially when I was doing homework, especially with writing. Writing was what was really hard for me. Some of it was the life changes I was making to where I studied and where I wrote, but I definitely felt a lot less distracted by things and a lot more ready to take on bigger assignments. I feel like my day-to-day mood really didn't change that much.
But for the time being, I think it's very beneficial.
How would you feel if you couldn't take your medication anymore?
I think I would be disappointed, but I wouldn't be as bad. I'm not on too high dosages. I could get by without my medications.
I would be scared. I can say that. I would be scared because I can't remember a time when I was not on medication. And therefore, I don't know what I would be like without it. And that scares me a lot. It scares me because who I am, in a way, as much as I hate it, is because of medication. I hate putting myself, like my individual self, into a category, and I hate that, in a way, I'm relying on, pills, and I think it's horrible, but at the same time, I know that it has worked for me, and I really, really hope in the future that I won't have to take medicine anymore.
It's just scary to really not know and have that be so much a part of your life.
I really don't want to be on medication.
I think I've been put on too much medication over the course of my, I'm only 19. I feel like I'm an old lady and I already have my old pill sets that every day I take stuff. It's been such a constant stream of medication that it's hard to really understand who I am. I really wish I was not given so much medication and given a lot more tools.
1 in 4 U.S. children under the age of 19 are taking at least one prescription medication.
50% of the time it's unnecessary.
A commonly diagnosed disorder now among young people, ADD and ADHD. which are very different, but also things that, people are like, oh, did people have ADD in the 50s? Were people thinking about these things? And while there is certainly evidence that these kinds of symptoms may be more common nowadays than they were in the past, it's also an aspect of biomedicalization that nowadays it is something that is thought of as a disorder rather than simply like the behavior of particular children, and something that is treatable using medicine and using medication.
I think it's probably increased because of the pharmaceutical industry promoting their product and giving samples, really networking with physicians, and just the amount of money that is amassed in that industry. The medical practice is one that's very customer service oriented. It's become a very customer service oriented business. And so yeah, if you want to get a medication and you say, I have this problem, this is what I would like, most practitioners will say, okay, and write the prescription.
So one phenomenon that has been very common over the past few decades is that profit-driven medicine, rather than care-driven medicine, has made it such that many doctors are seeing more and more patients for less and less time. And because they're trying to see as many patients as possible in order to increase profits, they are also using techniques like medication instead of techniques like sitting down one-to-one and really trying to identify what might be root causes of problems in an attempt to be more time efficient and therefore more money efficient.
At least half of U.S. children on antidepressants are not in therapy.
Number one reason why people should look at why they're taking medication is what are the roots of that illness process? Where is that coming from? Our society in general does not have that consciousness about looking at the roots of their illness.
I struggled a lot with depression in college, and I just started doing so much research on herbal alternatives to these medicines that were getting prescribed. And so you can basically get herbal sources of things like tryptophan that basically do the same thing as antidepressants and come from different nuts and seeds and things like that. Started taking holy basil, which is a really amazing plant for reducing anxiety and worry and fear and that sort of thing. St. John's for depression and things like that, and just had this complete turnaround.
I think that other things that can be utilized instead of medicine that are beneficial are like getting out there and working with your hands. Like depression is, I think, one of the things that can help people with depression is working with their hands, giving another person a massage, baking bread, gardening. So just really getting out in nature and connecting with your body. And the other thing that isn't medicine, but just herbs and remedies, that homeopathy is a great tool, and herbs, just different types of natural medicines that can affect your chemistry.
I wish those sorts of alternatives were out there. Like I wish when I go to your average counselor that the counselor would have knowledge or be permitted to talk about herbal solutions or about yoga, Pilates, meditation, religion, spiritual fulfillment, all of those things, instead of saying, oh, you're feeling depressed. I mean, I wish someone would say, well, you need to change your life. Like what are you really all about? And instead they say, okay, here are your choice of 3 things. This will destroy your liver. This will do that. Who knows what this will do? This will make you feel dead, but you probably won't feel sad either. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's a real problem that all of these other modalities of healing and of medicine are like out there on the fringes, and what insurance traditionally covers and what's most often available to youth is just this one system.